How are you guys? It is a pleasure to talk to you about this beautiful project. I had the chance to watch it last night with my family, with my 9-year-old daughter, who
Oh,
kinds of play a little bit of golf, and she loved it. So that's a plus for me. Thank you for
awesome.
such an awesome experience. Let me start with you, Julio. How much did you know about golf before diving into this project? Because as an awful golf player myself, you can say that golf has some valuable life lessons. Can you say the same when we talk about this specific project, this specific story?
Yeah, I really didn't know anything about golf. I mean, I tried playing when I was in high school several times, and I really just I couldn't even afford the balls that I lost. It was just too it's just too hard of a game. I did though come to appreciate over the course of doing this movie what you're saying that it's a that I didn't realize what a sport of dignity and respect and self-discipline it is. And the fact that you have to police your own score when nobody's around, you have to fix your divots, you have to rake the sand. It really is an honor system that the whole game is built on that. And so I that was something that I came to really admire about the game, and it's also became a big part of what the young men learn in the movie. That's a part of them growing up and becoming men. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. So Brett, something that I like about and that intrigues me about the world of acting is in addition to getting under the skin of other people, the research, learning about different topics that maybe only this line of work can provide you, can give you. In this case, not only golf, but the Latin culture. What can you say that you learn as an actor, as experienced as yourself, that you can use maybe not only in life, but in future projects, probably?
I think that the Latino community is one of the most beautiful that I've ever experienced. I grew up in Texas, had a lot of Hispanic friends, Mexican friends. I've
Mhm.
also been to Puerto Rico twice surfing.
Beautiful. Thank
Uh,
you.
I love Puerto Rico. But I think that as an actor, you kind of have to inhabit whatever the character may be. For instance, my character, the judge, is a bit of a,
Mhm.
I wouldn't say white supremacist, but a racist,
Mhm.
in terms of how he views people of color.
Mhm.
It was also part of what was going on. And as an actor, you have to study the history of in 1956 what were most white Americans, particularly in Texas, thinking.
Mhm.
And so you learn from that. And I also had the experience of being raised by a man who lived through the Great Depression, World War II, and was an old man in Texas, and the way he thought. So for me, it was a little bit of kind of putting my dad's skin on in that period because my dad changed over the years and became wiser, more liberal in that regard because I had black friends, Hispanic friends, gay friends, and he had to accept them, and he did. But at that period, not a chance, So and I had to express to him, because he used to use that term, wetback,
I know.
about them coming over the Rio Grande, and I had to explain to my father that Texas was actually Mexico before it was
Mhm.
Texas, and they were here before we were.
California,
So
yeah. Mhm.
ah, you know,
I know. So,
yeah.
Julio, there's a scene, a sequence that really shook me and that I really like is when the boys go to Mexico and they also feel the rejection of their fellow Mexicanos. And this is one of the stigmas of being a Latino descent or maybe being born and raised in the States from a Latino descent or family. And a topic that is not seen much in this type of film. So how much was it for you to capture that in the film and to work with this young cast that maybe perhaps haven't experienced this kind of rejection?
Yeah, that was a really important sequence for me. It's funny because this is a very low budget movie, and so there was a long period where like the producers wanted me to cut that sequence because you could you could delete that sequence and the movie just works. I mean, they go to the tournament and everything works fine. But for me, I thought it was very important to highlight that what it emphasizes for me is that these kids they're of Mexican descent, but they're American. Like they're
Yeah, I know.
just like
Mhm.
I was born in California, and both of my parents are from Cuba.
Mhm.
And but when I feel Latino when I'm here, but when I go to another country, I've lived in Puerto Rico. I shot my first movie there. I
I
lived in
know that's so. Yeah.
Spain. Yeah, I've done, and but when I'm in these other countries, I feel American. I realize
Okay.
how American I really am uh because I'm not Cuban anymore. I'm not the way the people in Cuba are, and they make you feel that way, even if they don't mean to. there's a distinction. The culture is
Yeah.
different, you know. So there's something particular and there's something special here in the United States that we're all mixing together, and it's a bunch of subcultures, but hopefully there's something bigger that unites all of us.
Yep.
And I think that that's what I wanted that sequence to get across. It's like these young guys, they belong here. This is their home, and they there's no going back to Mexico. That's not on the table here.
Well, my time is up. I would love to talk about your experience here in Puerto Rico, Mr. Fallon, and also you, Julio, with the vessel, and Martin Sheen, and all the Puerto Rican actors and crew. But my time is up. Thank you so much for giving us such a beautiful film. As I mentioned, my family watched it last night with me, and they loved it, and I loved it as much. So, mucho éxito, muchas gracias por tan hermoso filme. Así que, buenas tardes y gracias por esta oportunidad.
Gracias,
Thank
Felix.
you, guys.
And I love Puerto Rico, man. I love everybody over there. So,
Thank
yeah,
you.
thank you for doing
Thank
this.
you.